फ्रेंड्स, पिछले वीडियो में हम गिल रेस्पिरेशन के बारे में पढ़ रहे थे और मैंने आपको बताई थी गिल की संरचना क्या होती है, गिल मसल्स क्या होती हैं, गिल्स लैमेली क्या होती हैं और गिल्स का पूरा स्ट्रक्चर बताया था। आज हम पढ़ रहे हैं स्पेशलाइज्ड सेल्स ऑफ द गिल्स ऑफ फिशेज। द फॉलोइंग काइंड ऑफ स्पेशलाइज्ड सेल्स आर फाउंड इन द गिल्स ऑफ फिशेज। फिशेज के गिल्स के अंदर बहुत सारी स्पेशलाइज्ड सेल्स पाई जाती हैं, जिनमें से कुछ जो हैं वो इस प्रकार हैं। फर्स्ट, mucous cells of the typical goblet type which secrete thin film of mucus to prevent dehydration of respiratory epithelium. Second, acidophil granular cells. Third, basophil mast cells which are reservoir of heparin. Fourth, the bi or trinucleate glandular cells. 5, chloride cells. तो ये जो है कुछ स्पेशल सेल्स होती हैं जो कि गिल्स में पाई जाती हैं। अब है ब्लड सर्कुलेशन थ्रू गिल लैमेला। यूजुअली टीलियोस्ट जैसे वलेगोटू, मिस्टस और कतला कतला हिलसाइलिसा कंटेन वन एफरेंट ब्रेंकियल वेसल्स एंड वन इफरेंट ब्रेंकियल वेसल इन ईच गिल arch, but some teleost जैसे Labiorota, Clarius batrachus, Anavas, testudinis, etc. contain two efferent branchial vessel in each gill or arch। दत्ता एंड मुंशी के अनुसार 1960 में उन्होंने बताया कि किस प्रकार में गिल आर्च पाए जाते हैं। ईच efferent branchial vessels run through the entire length of the gill arch and gives off a series of primary efferent branches of primary gill lamella. Each primary efferent vessel divides laterally into a number of secondary vessels which run across gill ridge, dividing again into 2 to 4 tertiary branches to supply the blood to the secondary lamella. तो ये जो है गिल लैमेली का डायग्राम इसमें दिखा रखा है। तो इस प्रकार से गिल लैमेली जो है इन द सेकेंडरी लैमेली each afferent vessel breaks up into a number of minute capillaries interconnected with each other and forming the vascular central core of the secondary lamella. Gaseous exchange takes place while the blood is circulating through these thin capillaries of the secondary lamellae. These capillaries finally join to form a short vessel which carries the blood to the primary efferent vessel running along the margin of the primary gill lamella. The primary efferent vessels thus effect blood from the secondary lamellae or both sides and carries the oxygenated blood to the main efferent branchial vessel of the gill arch. अब है fish blood. Fish blood, like that of any other vertebrates, consists of fluid substances, the plasma in which flow minute cells, the red and white capsules. These are circular nucleated cells. The cytoplasm of RBC has a remarkable substance, hemoglobin, which has the power to combine with oxygen under certain physicochemical conditions. अब adaptive significance of structure of gill. The gill organization in the teleost is such that water is through in close contact with the secondary lamellae, through which exchange of gases takes place. Physiologically, the gills are very efficient and utilize about 50 to 80% of O2 present in water. In comparison to an elasmobranch gill, the teleostine gill is supposed to be more efficient because of great reduction of the interbranchial septum, so much so the arrangement of the afferent and efferent branchial vessel in such that the blood and the respiratory water flow in opposite directions. This counter-current system in which water containing O2 flows from oral to aboral side of the gills and the blood in the lamellae flows from aboral to oral side. The relative number of as well as the size of the gill lamellae determines the respiratory area of the gill in the fish. Variation in the respiratory area takes place with the habits of the fishes. Usually, fast swimming fishes have more gill area and a larger number of gill lamellae per mm of gill filament than the secondary species. Dubey 1951 reported that the gill area in air-breathing fishes is half of the area in fishes which have only aquatic respiration. सक्सेना ने 1958 में बताया, he reported that the gill area in Clarius verticus and H. fossils is much less as compared to water-breathing fishes. The gill cavities of fast swimmers are smaller than those of secondary species. अब है mechanism of gill respiration. The breathing apparatus of teleost as well as elasmobranchs consist of the buccal cavity, pharynx with the gills and the operculum, gill leg covering. There exists remarkable two-pump mechanism to provide a continuous flow of water through the gills. The buccal cavity acts as a pressure pump while the parabronchial cavity as a suction pump. The muscular activity bring about the pumping action. Consequently, there is change in the volume of the buccal and opercular activities. The respiratory cycle of sharks and rays can be divided into three consecutive phases. In the first phase, coracohyoid and coracobranchial muscles contact to widen the angel enclosed by the gill arches and enlarge the oropharyngeal cavity. Water enters by suction through the mouth cavity and or spiracle, and during this stage of gill flaps are held to the skin by exterior water pressure. Thus, the external gill slits are closed. In the second phase, abductors of the lower jaw and gill arches relax, but abductor muscles between the upper and lower portions of each gill arch contact in the mouth cavity begins to function as a pressure pump, while the oral valve prevents forward flow out of the mouth. The water is directed backward towards the internal gill clefts. Contraction of the interocular abductors bulges the oral portion of the interseptal spaces. Therewith, hydrostatic pressure at the inner gill surface is reduced and water is drawn into the gill cavities, which are still closed towards the outside. In the third phase, the interactual abductors relax. Another set of muscle contact to narrow the internal gill clefts, and the water is forced through the gill manually. Then the flaps at the external gill clefts open passively and allow the water to flow to the outside. However, many sharks, for example, the mackerel sharks, Laminae, do not show such pronounced breathing movement and can only take in sufficient respiratory water while swimming. They suffocate readily when immobilized by capture of other causes. Aquatic respiratory cycle of operculate fishes grossly resemble that of sharks and rays, in as much both suction and pressure propel the water through the gills. At the beginning respiration, just after the gill covers have closed forcefully, the mouth is opened by various muscle contact. Included in these muscles are the stenohyoid and the elevator of the palatine arc. At the same time, the branchiostegal rays are spread and lowered, and the mouth cavity is enlarged to create negative water pressure in it. Water is thus drawn into the mouth, and after a slight time lag, the space between the gills and operculum is enlarged as the gill covers are abducted anteriorly, although the operculum skin flaps are closed posteriorly by the outside water pressure. Pressure deficit is now also created in the gill cavity, and the water flows over the gills. Then the buccal and operculum cavities begins to reduce, while the oral valve prevent the flow of water out of mouth, and mouth cavity begins to function as a pressure pump instead of a suction. The operculum with the opercular flaps stay closed has now reached its furthest state of abduction and water is accumulating outside the gills. At the point of percolate are quickly brought towards the body, the gill flaps open and the water is expelled, being prevented from the flowing backwards to access pressure in the buccal cavity to compared to the epibranchial cavity. The foregoing basic respiratory process is modified according to different life habits. Fast swimmers, including mackerel and the several fruits and salmon, may leave their mouth and gill flaps open to bathe their gill with the stream of water displaced by swimming. In general, the gill cavities of swift swimmers are smaller than those of sedentary fishes. Ground fishes such as the Pleuronectidae and the Gucci fishes have an enlarged and highly distensible opercular cavity. In them, the mouth does not open widely during respiration, but breathing movements are slow and deep. The propelling and function reduction reducing effect of the expelled water makes jet function. At one time, consists in locomotion, and the other times counteract braking and reserving movement, especially among bottom dwellers fishes which are prone to swim backwards more than अदर्स। तो इस प्रकार में गिल रेस्पिरेशन पाया जाता है। गिल्स के चारों जितनी मसल्स पाई जाती हैं और गिल्स में लैमिले पाए जाते हैं, उनके सबके उसके द्वारा फिशेज में जो है गिल रेस्पिरेशन पाया जाता है। तो ये कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस हैं जो आप जो है उनको हल कर सकते हैं। इसके अलावा हम आगे बढ़ेंगे दूसरा टॉपिक। इस वीडियो में इतना ही। थैंक यू।